Hello dear pupils, welcome to the House of Knowledge. My name is Lusinjan Mijidovich. After watching the video lesson, you have sent us questions on the topic of conditional sentences. Today, during our webinar, we will talk about conditional sentences. So let's begin, and the first question is, what is a conditional sentence? A conditional sentence is a type of sentence that states a condition and the outcome of that condition occurring. Conditional sentences are made up of a dependent clause and an independent clause joined to express said condition. Условные предложения в английском языке. Это предложение, состоящее из условия и следствия результата, как правило, соединенных союзом if, если. Иначе говоря, условное предложение – это примерно то же самое, что предложение с глаголом в сослагательном наклонении в русском языке. Условное предложение – одна из разновидностей сложноподчиненных. Соответственно, она состоит из главной и придаточной части, в которых выражаются следствия и условия. Условное предложение conditional sentences могут выражать реальное real и нереальное unreal условия. Обычно выделяют три вида условных предложений, отличающихся степенью вероятности действия. Иногда, особенно в зарубежных учебниках в иностранной литературе, выделяют нулевой тип условных предложений zero conditional. So, давайте поговорим более подробно о каждом из этих типов. So, what is a zero conditional sentence? A zero conditional sentence is a sentence that expresses a fact or simple implication. Zero conditional statements express conditions that are always true and the conclusions of which can be drawn from their premises. If it rains, things get wet. If you stare at the sun, your eyes damage. If you touch a flame, you burn yourself. Next, what is a first conditional sentence? A first conditional sentence is a sentence that expresses an idea that might happen at some point in the future. It is something that is possible, but its certainty is unknown because it depends on another event. If it rains, I will not play outside. If I am out to lunch, Maria will answer calls. I will wrap his present if he leaves. What is a second conditional sentence? A second conditional sentence is a sentence that can express two ideas. First, it might express things in the future that are unlikely to happen. Second, it is used to express an idea that is not true because it is impossible. If I knew the answer, I would tell you. If I were you, I would not leave tonight. If I were president, I would fix the system. What is a third conditional sentence? A third conditional sentence expresses a past idea that didn't occur. The third conditional sentence expresses an imagined result of that past event that didn't occur. In other words, it is unreal. If I had listened, I would have not gotten lost. If he had gone to lunch, you would have answered his calls. I would have wrapped his present if he had left. Next, punctuating conditional sentence. Conditional sentences are fairly easy to identify because they almost always begin with if. They might also begin with when, provided that, given that, or considering. Just like other sentences in English, a conditional sentence only requires a comma after the dependent clause, when the dependent clause is placed before the independent clause. Let's look at the examples. If the baby wakes, I will be frustrated. If you go outside, you can see the storm clouds. When you finish your dinner, you will clean your plate. If the dependent clause is after the independent clause, no comma is necessary. Actually, it's not an example, it is a statement. Now let's look at the examples. I will be frustrated if the baby wakes. You can see the storm clouds if you go outside. You will clean your plate when you finish your dinner. So in summary, a conditional sentence usually begins with if, includes a dependent and independent clause, comes in different forms including zero, first, second, and third. Type 0. Тип условных предложений, в которых описываемые события, явления, вещи являются истиной, фактом, научным, общеизвестным. Они реальны. Type 1. Тип условных предложений, в которых описываются события будущего времени. Они реальны и возможны. Type 2. Тип условных предложений, в которых описываемые события относятся к настоящему или будущему, но они нереальны. Type 3. Тип условных предложений, в которых события относятся к прошедшему времени. Они могли бы произойти, но не произошли, они также являются нереальными. Now, let's look at this table. Давайте взглянем на эту таблицу. Тип предложения может быть real, перевод без бы, and unreal, перевод с бы. К типам real относится zero conditional, всегда реально, first conditional, реальное настоящее или будущее. In dependent clause we use. В придаточном предложении мы используем if it is zero conditional, present simple, if you heat water, or if you heat water, главное предложение имеет it boils. If people need money, they can borrow it from banks. In first conditional we use in dependent clause present simple continuous. В придаточном предложении первого типа условного предложения мы используем present simple или present continuous. If it looks like rain. В главном предложении мы используем will plus infinitive. We will stay at home. If he is working on Friday, he won't be able to go with us. Next, unreal. Следующий у нас перевод с бы, то есть нереальный. Second conditional, маловероятное настоящее или будущее. In dependent clause we use past simple continuous, то есть придаточно мы используем past simple или continuous. А в главном мы используем would, could, might plus infinitive. If I were you, I would go there myself. If I had more time, I would come over. If it were not raining, I could go out. And third conditional, нереальное прошлое. In dependent clause we use past perfect. In independent clause we use would, could plus have plus participle to. If you had gone there, you would have seen him. If it hadn't been so hot last summer, we could have gone to the south. Well, dear pupils, our webinar is almost over. I hope all the questions on the topic of conditional sentence are clear. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.